You were just in Tahoe. I saw all of your escapades when you were in Tahoe. Were you there
Yes.
for the golf tournament or just to go
Yeah.
and okay.
Yeah. I don't play, but it's a big social event and it's fun and a lot of good energy. And we're walking out at the same time as Travis Kelce and I think his brother. I don't know, they looked alike, so I'm assuming it's his brother. And we like almost ran into them at the door. And I was like, whoa, that's a big dude. And then I realized who it was.
Crazy. That's cool. So, everyone, this is Alicia Justus, can I say like a dating coach for men, style coach for
Uh-huh.
men? Is that
Both dating and relationship coach. I have some clients that are in relationships and we're working on relationship skills or comprehension. And I also do the dating portion. And then the second part of my business is I'm a custom menswear stylist. So how that part works, and I added that on because I was redoing my clients' wardrobes anyway. So to be able to offer custom pieces that are actually well fitted for their body. And then this way I can also help people that are in relationships or married. I can help men. It's specifically designed toward men. We haven't gone into the women's sector yet, but to be able to develop out their wardrobe. And you don't need custom for everything unless you have a very odd body shape, like you have long legs or a longer torso, and it's difficult to find nice, well-fitting things off the rack.
yeah.
So that's that aspect of the business.
I love it. And that's cool. And that's sort of how we ended up connecting is we're
Yeah.
kind of, not exactly doing the same thing. I don't
Hmm.
do, relationship coaching or anything like that. I think my channel is more geared around men's lifestyle, specifically geared
Hmm.
towards men over 40. Like, what are we going through at this stage in life? And a lot of it has to do with, broken relationships. You've been married for 20 years. Now you're divorced. What do you do now? Like, you've got to work on your style and all of the things. So that's why I thought
Personal
that it,
development.
exactly, personal development.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought it'd be great to have you on to kind of walk
Yeah.
us
Thank you for
through.
having me.
Of course. Yeah, we've talked about doing this for quite a while, and I'm glad we
I
finally
know.
finally got a chance to do it. So let's talk. I've got some notes. Let's talk a little bit about men's fashion first, and then we'll get into some of the
Hmm.
relationship stuff a little bit later. So what do you see like some common mistakes of like clients you see come to you for help, or even just guys you see in daily life? What can men do better? What are we falling down on, in your opinion?
There's kind of, I'm a firm believer in having some balance especially within your wardrobe. A lot of men I find, if like say they've been single or haven't been married, and their wife hasn't kind of helped their style, they'll be still wearing like affliction stuff and they'll be shopping at the Buckle, which you can find. I'm not degrading the Buckle by any stretch of
No,
the
you can.
imagination,
It's
but it's
okay.
more, it's but it's geared towards a younger person, right?
Yes.
So you're still dressing like you're in high school when you're trying to actually be taken seriously. And your first impression is bar none the most important. And women judge men based off of how they dress, and men judge women based off of how their appearance is. It's just the way our brains are wired. It's evolutionary. You're not going to ever get away from it. So being aesthetically pleasing is exceptionally important. Adding, to that end, if you're coming in and still wearing very dated things that you wore back in high school, especially if they don't fit you properly, if they're too tight, too loose, I
Yeah, yeah.
oftentimes see slimmer men wearing things that are too big because they don't want to look too skinny. Or I will see bigger guys wearing stuff that's just like a tent, stuff like that. You want to have things that are well tailored for your body. Uh,
100%, 100%. I mean,
where
I
I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I talk about the same stuff like all the
I know you
time.
do.
So it's great to hear somebody else, say
Oh.
sort of reiterate the things and qualify the things that I do say on almost a daily basis on this channel. And I feel like a broken record sometimes because I say it
Hmm.
over and over and over. But you also have to understand, or not you, but like I need to understand that people find my videos for the very first time, right? So I need to
Hmm.
make videos for new people. So the
Hmm.
message always has to be consistent. But
Yeah,
yeah,
totally. And I love your channel for that reason.
thank you.
Another aspect is some of my older clients, range in age from, I think the youngest was 26 when I first started working with him to 63 now.
Oh, dang.
And so some of my older clients will be dressing very vintage style, where stuff, again, it's older pieces or it's an older style, and we need to kind of modernize it a little bit, especially after if they are coming out of a divorce and a lot of my older clients tend to date, maybe 10, 20 years younger. 20 is a stretch. I generally don't advise that, but typically if and especially if they want a woman who's well put together, you need to be well put together. We attract what we are, not what we want. So
100%.
yeah.
100%. Yeah, because if the guy looks like he doesn't care or really couldn't care less about what he looks like and the clothes that he wears, I mean, that's like it or not. And sort of just to go back to what you said a minute ago about people judge and sort of form their own opinions based on that first visual connection. That first contact
Mm-hmm.
is visual. And like it or not, we all judge everyone we see based on their appearance. So if
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, if there's a single guy that wants a attractive, good-looking woman who's put together, you have to do the same thing. You just
And
have to.
it's
You
not
have
just
to.
appearance, it's your energy too, right? So when you know that you look good, your energy is completely different than if you're showing up in gym shorts to the gym. It's, time and place for everything, right? Like you can wear gym shorts to the gym, but you don't wear it on a date. And a lot of men, they have purposeful wardrobes, meaning that they have their golf attire, which I also do. They have their gym clothes, and then they have their work clothes. So what do you actually wear to a date? And you need a couple key pieces that you don't have to redo your entire wardrobe usually, unless you've gone through kind of a body transformation. A lot of men, when they come out of a divorce, they'll
Yeah,
start to lose weight and take better care of themselves, which, yay, that's awesome.
yeah,
But then your clothes don't fit. So to kind of rebuild your wardrobe, you can start with a couple key pieces that you can wear on a date that are versatile. So that's a big aspect about what I do. I would say the majority of my custom wear is actually not suits. I would say maybe it's 50-50, but because we do custom suits, but you also have custom casual wear. And it's like, you need a couple pieces that are key that you can wear with different shirts. You can throw a sport coat on because you want to be able to take a woman out to a nice dinner or, a concert or whatever it is.
exactly. Do you find a lot of guys push back on stuff that you might suggest? Like, oh, these, chinos would be great, and you can wear these casual, you can dress these up, and they've never worn chinos before. So do you get like guys going, that's too dressy for me, or I feel like I'm wearing a costume?
It's variable. Some men do, some men don't. Some men
Okay.
are like, I don't have a clue. You can do whatever you want. Those are my favorite because then I make them look really good. But other men are a little more hesitant to try something like, I will never wear those. And I said, just
Like,
try.
I know why. Why can't you wear it?
I think
It's so crazy.
I think so often we, and this is just a very human trait, is that we've told ourselves a story from a young age, and it's difficult to re-narrate that story. So if you're telling yourself a story of this is who I am, it it's easier because you don't have to change. And change is difficult for most people. And unless you really have a growth mindset of, sure, I'll try this. Yeah, okay, and a lot of people are like, I don't like change. Well, the only thing consistent in life is change. So you either roll with it and make the changes good and control the changes, or you are going to stay stagnant, and that's when you start dying.
Yeah, and also like if you're not happy with maybe some of the results that you're getting when you step out and try to approach and talk to women, or if you're not happy with where you're at or what you're getting, you need to make a change. Like otherwise
Mm-hmm,
what's the thing that everyone knows about insanity is doing the same thing over and
mm-hmm.
over, expecting different results.
I cannot tell you how many people do that. And especially I think it's most highly reflected inside of the dating market, because they say, well, this is just who I am or what I do. No, it's not. It's not who you are. It's a choice that you're making. It's a behavioral pattern that you have developed based upon maybe your value system, maybe based upon an old ideology that is no longer current, or not even reflective of who you are.
That's pretty cool. Where do you think, starting from zero, where do you think men should start if they finally go, you know what? It's time. I need to start dressing better. I don't like my clothes, or maybe the clothes don't fit. Where do I start? Because guys, it's like I feel like a lot of guys won't participate in updating their style because they don't want to get it wrong. They don't want to be
Call
laughed
me.
at, teased, or exactly.
You call me. That's what you do. And what's really fun actually is that we actually have an app that will scan your body and give me your measurements. And
Oh,
then we talk about what it is, what the look that you're going for. And then I usually start with a couple key pieces to make sure that we have the fit right, to make sure it looks the way you want it to look. And I usually say start with a nice collared shirt, a sport coat, and a pair of chinos because you can dress those up, dress them down, maybe a polo. And or you can even do, and I try to push the edge a little bit with some of my more conservative clients. I'll try and get them out of their comfort zone a little bit.
yeah, yeah.
Usually they see me and how I'm dressed, and that's part of why they'll start working with me is they'll see how I'm put together, and they'll say, okay, well, if a woman like that is doing this, she's probably has a good eye for what looks good. And
Right.
that it's a it's a wise assumption because I'm good at what I do.
Very good. I generally tell people to start with just wearing nicer shoes. It's generally what I say. I mean, I think because I've seen so many shoe mistakes, and I just go out in the wild, and I'm out all the time, so I see lots of different people in public all the time. And I would say, not to be judgmental or anything like that, but I'm in the space. I do pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
It's the shoe choice. It's like the guy's just wearing the wrong shoes. Either it's the flip flops at a nice establishment, or the running shoes without like a running
Oh, running
outfit.
shoes with jeans.
Yeah, and I just
Yeah,
made a
I
yeah,
agree with you on that.
yeah, there's a video coming out. By the time this goes out, it's going to already be on my channel, about how to look better than most other guys. And it's wearing athletic shoes without an athletic outfit. If you're not doing
Drives me
anything
nuts.
athletic, what are you
It
doing
is
with the
like the
shoes?
dad attire.
I
It
know
and
it's
I see it so frequently, and I'm going, oh my gosh, don't do that. Or they'll wear really dressy shoes with jeans too, and you can dress up jeans. You can throw jeans with a sport coat, and it
yeah,
can look fabulous if they're well tailored. But you don't wear like shoes that you would wear with a tuxedo
yeah,
for that.
shiny black shoes with jeans
Hmm.
just doesn't
Hmm.
quite work. And again, not to be judgmental, but you just see it, and I want them to know more. Like good looking guys, like older 50-year-old guys that like look
Hmm.
terrific. Obviously take care of themselves just a
Oh,
little.
it ages you. It
Yeah,
ages you like none other. I completely agree with you. Yeah. I
yeah.
completely agree with you on that aspect. It does age you, and it throws off the entire look. So I'm a shoe freak. So I mean, I I love I that's a definitely a female thing. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's not, well, I take it back. No, I
It
I
can be.
my my most recent relationship was with a man who had probably triple the amount of shoes that I did, which is
Oh, dang.
shocking because I have a very large collection.
Oh
I
my
love
gosh.
shoes. I love
Nice.
shoes, and yeah. So
Very nice. So speaking of relationships, what the hell is going on in the dating market right now? I mean, I think because I'm plugged into the, manosphere. I
the
get fed.
manosphere, I like
Well,
that.
yeah, it's like the algorithm just feeds me, all these dating things, and women are saying this and men are saying this. And I'm so glad I'm not like a 26-year-old guy right now, because in my opinion, it looks like a complete shit show. Let's start with entitlement. Why does there seem to be unrealistic expectations of a man, what a man should do for them, like that kind of a thing?
We so we're You and I are similar age brackets where, I mean, I grew up on a farm. So with horses, chickens, and pigs, I used to muck stalls, do all of that. So I know the value of hard work. I've had a job since I was 15. And so I wasn't pretty at a young age either. So I always say like late bloomers are the best because they had to develop out their personality. They generally have an education and they have appreciation. So I'm a firm believer in I live my life really with gratitude. That doesn't mean that I accept everything, but it does mean that I have gratitude for what I have. And you tend to get more abundance that way. Um,
I love it.
I
I love
think our
it.
younger generation, because they have been in a very convenience focused society, they generally don't have, and this is just a generality. So it is a little bit of a different climate, a different culture. You also have, we still had a little bit of a hierarchy as far as like men being men in our generation,
Right,
whereas
right.
the younger generation, they don't have that. A lot of times they're from separated households. They may or may not have a healthy father figure actually giving them an example of what a healthy masculine looks like. And we also have like, the term toxic masculinity. Masculinity in and of itself is not toxic.
Sure.
Toxic people are toxic, but there is such thing too as toxic femininity, but femininity of itself is beautiful. But we have been in such a generation of women's empowerment, and women are better than men, and it has created this like battle when we don't, and when you do this, you don't recognize the beauty of when they're actually working together, because you need the feminine essence and you need the masculine essence. So I know I went a little bit divergent there, but
No, it's okay.
the
I think that that's kind of what I'm seeing is if you want to call it the toxic femininity,
Mhm.
where, that movement has, grown, which is great, by the way. I'm not discouraging it.
Mhm.
Um, but like you had said, like women are thinking they're better or equal to, and it's like that seems to be where the conflict started.
We're neither. Men and women are not equal. We both have value,
Right.
but it's different.
It is
And
different.
I remember I heard Lisa Bevere say God doesn't, it was, she said, God doesn't love each of his children equally. And I remember thinking, oh, it's kind of odd. Like, aren't we all valuable? She goes, he loves us uniquely, which I love that idea because we are all different, and our differences is really what make us, you know, balanced. And you need both to be able to be balanced. I also think too, women who are pretty at a young age, they're used to men, flying them around different places, doing all these things. And because they have access to it, they can do it. Men typically go after a pretty young woman. I mean, it's stereotypical because it's true. They Men are very visually oriented creatures. That is how they are wired. You're not going to
Correct.
get away from that.
Right.
And so a woman who is beautiful at a young age may not have the maturity, has not been taught really how to set boundaries or standards. So she will go after whatever is the biggest pay. It's natural for us to go after, this is just a human condition. Men and women both do that. They'll go after the biggest bang for their buck, essentially. So whoever has the best offer, essentially, on the table,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
that's who they're going to go
Yeah.
after. So if you're used to a certain level, you are not going to accept the average man. And there is a sense of entitlement. And I think when you're so used to having something, you lose gratitude for it. And I think gratitude is one of the most attractive qualities especially in women. It is in men too, but I think in women I see a lot of women where they'll almost, they don't, I think that grace and gratitude are something that's not really focused on. We're always talking about being hot and beautiful and having the perfect body and all that, but we don't actually focus on beautiful qualities in a woman, like kindness, spirit of nurturing, um, the ability to be supportive, the ability to listen.
I love it.
So
Where did it go? It's like all of the good stuff is like, it
we
seems like
still
it's been,
exist.
I know,
Some
we
of us
totally
do.
do. We're just older.
I
That's how
know.
we were brought up. At least that's how I was brought up is,
Hmm.
there are differences, and, your strengths are valuable. Your strengths are also valuable.
Mhm.
If it's a yin and yang, if your strengths are some of my weaker points, then that's a beautiful
Yes,
thing. And
that's a beautiful match.
I feel like
My
it's all done well.
grandma, I have so many really beautiful quotes from my grandma, but one of my favorites is, "It is your obligation to society to be both interested and interesting."
I like it.
Yeah, that's good.
I like it.
Grandma was wise.
Grandma, it sounds like grandma was wise. Talk to me about apps, dating apps. Do you find that a lot of your clients are on apps? Do they despise apps and want to do it the old school way? Where do you like to coach your guys on when it comes to apps?
It's one avenue. There are
Okay.
pros and cons to it, like anything else. My sister and her husband actually met on a dating app, and
Mm,
they are a beautiful couple. I don't think a matchmaker could have put them together better. They have a great relationship. So it does happen, and they have other family members that have met their significant other on a dating app. So it does.
yeah.
Granted, this was probably 7 years ago. I think it opens up the door to, one, the hookup culture, and then it also objectifies the other gender. So
True.
you're going through, you just see pictures, and typically men will just go after the pictures and not actually read the profile, and it's difficult to do a very, very brief summary of who you are, and so you get just a snippet, and people lie on them too. People lie. It just, you're not
Yep.
always getting the honest truth. A lot of people lie about their age. A lot of people, men lie about their height, probably more than anything, I would have to say. They'll say, yeah, I'm 6 foot, and they're really 5'9", and I'm like, you could get inserts for your shoes, but even then you're still not,
I know. I
you
know.
know. And then and you have catfishes. Sometimes it can be a real waste of time. Sometimes it can be efficient. But a lot of times I find that it's a time suck. So
Oh yeah.
it is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to meet people. It's not bad. It's not good nor bad. It's just a different avenue, and it depends on how you use it. If you do decide to use a dating app, I insist on doing their profile, because
Uh,
I cannot tell you how many profiles I've opened up and seen, and I'm going, "What were you thinking in this picture? You're standing in front of a toilet with the toilet seat up, doing a selfie in a bathroom."
yeah, I don't get that.
Like, hard pass, no.
Yeah.
And
And
any
it's
woman worth their
cool.
salt is going to go left on that.
And it's actually it just sort of sparks something that you insist on doing their profiles because as a woman, you know what is a turn on and a turn off for
Yes.
women coming from men. So that's awesome. I love that.
That's why it's valuable to hire me, even if we just do a couple sessions, and we have to get you basically marketable, because everything is marketing,
Hmm.
right? You have to be able to market yourself, especially on those. So if you could be a great guy, you could have a good income, stability, you could be a provider, you could be well dressed, in shape, but if your profile looks like you with a fish in every picture,
Yeah.
which is almost every man,
Yeah.
how are you going to set yourself apart from everyone else?
Exactly.
So
No,
it might
that's
mean that we pull in a photographer to do a quick, just take a quick couple photos. It doesn't cost a lot. A lot of people think that stuff costs a lot. It's not. Especially I utilize my network a lot too.
cool.
So that's helpful.
Yeah, I remember years ago when I was still in Seattle, I ran a commercial photo studio, and several friends of mine were like, "Hey, can you take a couple of pictures of me? I'm trying to go on this dating app." And I'm like, "Absolutely, let's go."
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. It
I
was,
love that. That's fantastic.
yeah, it was just, I mean, it was probably what 9 or 10 years ago when apps were probably first getting going,
Starting. Hmm.
or first starting to blow up. And it was like, yeah,
I
let's
think it
do it.
all started with Match.
Yeah, maybe it was Match, whatever it was back then.
Mhm.
But yeah, I would shot several different people, and it just
Yeah,
kind of, yeah, it was
it's
cool.
important. It's really important. And especially if you have really, crappy lighting, it can make you look older than you are. If you are, and don't wear PJs in your pictures.
Do you see
It's
that? The
like,
guys wearing pajamas?
oh my gosh, yes,
Come
I've seen
on.
guys wearing pajamas, like flannel pants in now, it's one thing if it's like a family shot and you guys are all together. context is everything, but or they have just, it's like 3 pictures of them holding up a fish. And I'm like, okay, I get it. You like to fish. What are the other aspects about you? Like, who are you? But men don't oftentimes have the opportunity to actually take pictures. They don't do photos the same way that women do. So women can
Correct.
have thousands of pictures to choose from, where a man might have 3.
Right.
So if you actually want to attract a high quality woman, you have to be able to market yourself that way.
Yep. Love the idea of hiring a photographer. I mean, they're everywhere.
They're
They're
everywhere. And
everywhere.
it doesn't, they'll do a quick photos for you, sometimes even just $50. Hey, I just need a couple pictures, and they'll give you the things. It really depends on, you can even have a friend do it if you have adequate lighting and a good, someone who's, good with photos.
Yeah. 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 2 outfits, a jacket on, jacket off, next outfit, walking down the street, whatever.
That's why it's important, I think, to have female friends. And I, as a man, I am a firm believer that that this is, a hot topic of conversation, and especially in like the red pill society, like they'll say that men and women cannot be friends. I completely disagree with that. I think boundaries have to be clear and intentions have to be clear. But you can absolutely have a healthy friendship. I have several male friends that I've been friends with for 20 plus years. And I mean, I'm so grateful for them, because if I need to run something by them, or they want to run something by me, we have the history. I know who they are. Some of them I grew up with, some of them I met in college, and you get to have a different perspective. So they can call me and say, hey, like, what do you think about from like a woman's perspective? And I get to be able to give that to them. And I believe that they find it valuable. I think you would have to ask them, but
Sure. Yeah.
they'll call me again. So
Do you think that men should or should not be on apps? I know you said it was just one avenue, but is it such a waste of time that they should just ignore that avenue and focus on in person meeting people like the old school way? Or is it try them both and see what kind of works? What are your thoughts?
for more introverted people, it might be a little bit better,
Okay. Okay.
but so often women are using it to get a free plane ticket, or to go, to get a free meal, basically. And you don't want women who are going into it with that intention. That's not all women, that's just a small portion of them.
Sure.
But you will likely not find that as much if you're out and about and doing something. I'm usually a big proponent of meeting people, go to a networking mixer, go to a business function, get involved in a golf club or a yacht club, or go to it. You don't have to be an avid golfer to be a part of a country club, and if that's not your thing, go pick up a new sport, or go to a new gym that has high quality people around. Start meeting people. And there are a ton of avenues in most major cities. If you are more remote and it's difficult for you to do that, that is where an app can come in handy,
Sure. Okay.
because you can have a much larger exposure. So it really is individual oriented. So it really depends on what is your goal here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I got it. Yeah. A couple years ago, I was on Hinge, and it just became a waste of time. It was just like, what the heck? I mean, I'm better in person than I am on apps anyway. I mean, how you can't convey emotion or humor very well over just, characters in a text message. It's so
true.
much
And you
easier.
don't know what they really like, what they look like, what their energy feels like. You miss that part. And there's
Yeah.
so much information that we gather just from the first meeting. And you
Yeah.
can't always get that via, even if you do a FaceTime or a phone call, you don't always get that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so often I hear, if someone sees me on Instagram and then I actually meet them as a client, the feedback I typically get is, oh, you're prettier in person. And I think
Ooh.
I look like my pictures typically, but I typically get that. So if I get that and I feel like my pictures are very reflective of what I look like, it is you parlay that out into everyone else. Some of them may take really crappy photos, like they just don't know how to pose, or because that's really an art form.
Yeah. Yeah. Holy cow. Yeah. It's interesting. The whole topic is super interesting.
Hmm.
I think maybe, um, let me ask the audience right here, if you want more from Alicia, if you want like a part two, or if you want her to talk about something specific, comments down below. Let us both know, let her know, what, because we could do this again, I'm sure.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
down?
absolutely.
All right, cool.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, if you want a part two, or if you wanted to talk more about style and more about dating, let me know. I just wanted to cover both segments in this short little window.
I
So
love the relationship stuff. That's like the meat and potatoes of everything.
is it? Okay. All right.
I love it.
If you guys
Just
want
talking
more,
about the relationships of men and women, and just the different dynamics and how they've shifted over the years. It's really, really fascinating. I love human dynamics.
very cool. Where can folks find you? Instagram, website?
Instagram is usually the best. Most
Okay,
of my clientele comes off of social media.
cool,
Alicia.m.justus.
cool.
Justus. Yeah.
I'll put it down below in the description so guys can come find you and hopefully hire you. That'd be super cool. Because you can do everything remote.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to be in California.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of my clients I do FaceTime with.
Perfect. Alicia, thank you for
Yeah.
coming on.
You are so welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, hopefully we can do it again. If the guys enjoyed this and want more from you, let us know and we'll do it again. But thanks again. I really
Oh,
appreciate
my
it.
pleasure.
All right,
Yeah.
take care.
Take care. Bye.